And any questions?
Mr.
Well, I'm having, it's a great thing, my son and my family. We have a great golf complex in Ireland, one of the best in the world, called Doonbeg. It's in Doonbeg. And it's been amazing, and Rory McIlroy loves it. They all love it. Great golfers. You have a tremendous golf tradition, and it was chosen for the Irish Open, which is a big deal. That's a big event.
Absolutely, looking forward to it.
Everybody wants me to be there. You just said, I hope you're going to go.
I did.
And we're going to try. We are going to try, but it will be an honor. But it was a great honor to be chosen. They only choose the best courses in the world for the, for the big opens. It's one of the big ones, the Irish Open. It's really become one of the most important tournaments in the world. It's going to do. I hear it's going to be a fantastic success.
A great success.
Yeah. It's a very, very hard. It's a very hard course.
Mr. President, what progress have you made, Mr. President, in getting America's allies to assist the U.S. in escorting those oil tankers through the Strait of Hormuz?
Well, we don't need too much help, and we don't need any help, actually. In fact, we just put out a notice. I was watching over the last couple of weeks, and all of our NATO allies were very much in favor of what we did. They thought it was very important. We were just discussing it, actually. Very important that we take out the nuclear threat from Iran, and we've done that very strongly, very powerfully. We've wiped out their Navy, wiped out their military in every aspect. Their Air Force is now decimated. They have no Air Force, no Navy. They have no...
some strikes
radar.
happened last night. There were some sirens.
Anti-aircraft machinery is gone.
Or, well,
everything
last
is gone.
night
Their
for us.
leaders are gone. I guess one of the...
Or in the
top
morning,
person
I should
was
say.
They say, a lot of people say their actual top was...
There was one in like fucking like
yesterday,
3 or 4 in the morning.
along with somebody else who was responsible for the killing, the man that was responsible for the killing of 32,000 people over the last 2 weeks. He was in charge of the killing of protesters. It's an evil group. I mean, they've killed much more than 32,000 people. And the man who was responsible for that was also killed yesterday. And all of the NATO allies agreed with us, but they don't want to, despite the fact that we help them so much. We have thousands of soldiers in different countries all over the world, and they don't want to help us, which is amazing. I mean, amazing. And I didn't.
Yeah, what's the point of alliances if they're not actually going to, actually help?
We don't.
At that point, you might as well
help.
just let them fight it on their own.
War
right?
Has been long prosecuted.
Let shit hit the fan and let them deal with it instead of, right, fucking,
the Navy essentially
right, the U.S. trying to do something.
But I was surprised to see that NATO...
Yeah, I mean,
while
if
they
nobody
agreed
wants
that
to
it was a
help,
very
then just
important
let
thing to
shit
do,
go
they
into
agreed
chaos,
fully. Nobody
right?
said, "Oh, you
And
shouldn't
just
do
see
it."
and wait and see what happens.
They would have had a nuclear weapon within 1 month of when we had the B-2 bomber.
Yeah, honestly,
nuclear potential.
we should
Call
just,
it the nuclear dust.
in a sense,
So
only come in when
NATO's
shit
making a
hits the
very
fan.
Foolish mistake, and I've long
At this
said
point,
that,
because nobody
I
wants
wonder
to do
whether or not
anything.
NATO would ever
Also, we
be
have a
there
lot
for
of
us.
fucking problems
So
at home.
this was a great test because we don't need them, but they should have been there. The other thing is, and I think, very important, we didn't have to be there for Ukraine. Biden chose to spend hundreds of billions of dollars on Ukraine. And I guess the head of Germany just made a statement that, well, they weren't involved and they have nothing to do with the war. But at the same time, they think we did a great thing by knocking them out. Nobody wants to have Iran or anybody, but nobody wants to have Iran with a nuclear, because these people are crazy. They're absolutely crazy, and they're vicious, violent. I mean, they kill. Think of it. They killed. Now I hear it's about.
I mean, we've been
41,000
dealing with
people.
them
They
for
put out a
47
notice 2 days
years.
ago. Anybody that protests will be immediately
Right.
shot and killed.
So it's like,
That's pretty tough stuff. So everyone agrees with us, but they don't want to help. And we as the United States have to remember that because we think it's pretty shocking.
President Macron has just said in the last hour that he will never join a task force in the Strait of Hormuz until hostilities finish. Yet yesterday you said...
Who said that? Who said?
President Macron of France. What's your reaction to that, sir?
Well, he'll be out of office very soon, so we'll have to see. I don't know.
Mr. President, On Doonbeg, you're building an extension to it at the
Yeah,
moment,
we hope.
but there's been an objection put in, and it's being held back at the moment due to small snails. What are you disappointed about that?
No, the planning commission is.
I have not heard that.
Yeah, I mean, if everyone's mad at the U.S., maybe we should just turn into,
The course was built
I wouldn't say complete
and operated very
isolationists,
successfully. Somebody's
but
objecting human and environmental.
if
groups
anything, we
objecting
should worry about the stuff back home first and then deal with the fallout of letting these people do whatever they want. And then if people ask for help, oh, that's too bad. You should have done it when we said
Well,
to.
we've had great support from the Middle East.
Now you're on your own. See ya.
Qatar has been great. UAE has been absolutely been great. Saudi Arabia has been terrific. Bahrain has been very good. The Middle Eastern countries have been very strong in their support, and of course Israel has been.
But Trump is
a
too
partner.
nice, helping
Israel's,
people around the world.
Been very, very strong, along with our operation.
Uh-oh.
Against Iran. I was,
Oh,
if
there it
you
goes.
look
Oh, we got some
back ago,
network
I
issues
talked
over there.
about Iran was a big threat to this country, to this world. It turned out to be, I was right. In fact, I said you have to attack Karg Island. You have to attack them years ago when they were acting up. They've been acting up for 37, 47, I guess now 48 years. For 48 years, they've been bad players, vicious players, and you can't let them have a nuclear weapon. If they got a nuclear weapon, I would say they would have used it within 24 hours after having it. And they would have had it if we didn't bomb them out from on that great raid with the B-2 bombers 8 months ago or so. You would have had a nuclear war in the Middle East and maybe beyond. I think it would have hit Europe. Maybe not Ireland, but it would have hit Europe. I think you would have been a nice piece of it. It all gets you. It's big enough that you would have been affected. They would have hit Europe eventually.
Well, just sending a nuke anywhere would just fucking destabilize the whole fucking area.
He just resigned today. He said he can't support your conflict with Iran. What's your reaction to that? And did you?
Well, I read his statement. I always thought he was a nice guy, but I always thought he was weak on security, very weak on security. I didn't know him well, but I thought he seemed like a pretty nice guy. But when I read his statement, I realized that it's a good thing that he's out, because he said that Iran was not a threat. Iran was a threat. Every country realized what a threat Iran was. The question is whether or not they wanted to do something about it. And many people, many of the greatest military scholars are saying for years that presidents should have taken out Iran because they wanted a nuclear weapon. They were, if we didn't do the attack, or if, I'll go a step further, if I didn't terminate the Iran nuclear deal given to us, one of the worst deals ever made by Barack Hussein Obama. Remember when they sent Boeing 757s over there, loaded with cash, hundreds of millions of dollars? You would have been very happy. This was a wonderful, they sent hundreds of millions. People forget that. Does anybody remember? Right? You remember. Hundreds of millions of
Yeah, and what did they use that cash for? Well, the IRGC and the Ayatollah fucking probably used it for their fucking weapons and
shit. There wasn't a bank
shit.
in Virginia, Maryland, or D.C. that had any money left. They stripped them of all
Right?
the money.
They didn't
put
give it
in
to their
place,
people that
sent to
needed it.
Iran,
Nope, they took it for
almost as
themselves.
ransom. That's not going to happen with Trump. And nobody ever did anything about it. Nobody ever said anything about it. Can you imagine if I did that? So they've been a threat for a long time. But they've really been a threat if I didn't terminate Obama's horrible deal that he made, the Iran nuclear deal, you would have had a nuclear war 4 years ago. You would have had nuclear holocaust, and you would have had it again if we didn't bomb the site. So when somebody is working with us that says they didn't think Iran was a threat, we don't want those people, because, and there are some people, I guess I would say that, but they're not smart people or they're not savvy people. Iran was a tremendous threat. And virtually every NATO nation.
Yeah, I mean,
If they told me it
Honestly,
was
I
a
feel like
threat,
Trump should have just
and
let
therefore they don't
the
wanna help.
other
But
nations
when
deal
they
with
say
it
was
at
a
this
threat,
point,
and
because
it
it's
was
like
a
nobody
major
wants to
threat,
fucking do anything.
Every one of them. I think every one of them. I don't know of one that said they're not a threat, but when they say it was a threat, but we're not going to help, I think they're very foolish.
Will you
know, it's interesting. It's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I've
because
come
I
to
could
the
say this,
realization that we don't really have alliances
happening
with
in
anyone.
Ukraine, We're
Everyone's
probably in there for
reneging on their
$400 billion.
promises
We don't
and
spend any money anymore.
all that
They buy
shit.
it
So it's
from
like,
us and they
yeah,
pay full price.
probably
But,
should have just fucking
Biden gave
let them deal with it
between
instead
$350
of
and
letting us
$400
deal with
billion
it.
of equipment in cash. Someday they'll have to find out about the cash. And you could say that wasn't a threat, you know, we're helping them. So we helped them, and they didn't help us. And I think that's a very bad thing for NATO.
Mr. President,
Are there any repercussions for NATO, and are you still going to China?
Well, yeah, on China, it's a little different story. We're resetting the meeting, and it looks like it'll take place in about 5 weeks. We're working with China. They were fine with it. We're going to say, I look forward to seeing President Xi. He looks forward to seeing me, I think. But I do look forward to seeing him. We have a good relationship with China. China actually has become economically for us very good, as you know. It's much different than it was in the past. And we have a very good working relationship with China. So we're making it in about 5 or 6 weeks.
Mr. President.
NATO for not supporting you on this. Any repercussions?
Well, no, I just think that it's not good for a partnership when they say what you're doing is a great thing, but we're not going to help. You know, they say
Yeah, I mean, that's not really a
what you
partnership.
did is a great thing.
If they're not even helping us with the right conflict by sending a little bit of resources, then it's like, yeah, probably should have just canceled everything and let them deal with it.
Are you afraid of that?
No, I'm not afraid of. I'm really not afraid of anything.
Mr. President,
Are you rethinking the United States' relationship with NATO possibly getting out? Or
Well, I'm disappointed in NATO that we spend trillions of dollars on NATO. Think of it, trillions over the years, many trillions of dollars. It's one of the reasons we have deficits and we help other countries. And when they don't help
Yeah,
us,
honestly, at this point, we shouldn't help any other country and
we
just
should think
worry
about
about
it.
ourselves
I don't need
now.
Congress for that
Right? Since
decision.
everyone's in it for
I can make
themselves.
that decision myself. I work with some very
Let them
smart
deal with the
people.
conflict.
And
Fuck
I'd
'em.
always deal with Congress anyway, but I don't need Congress for that decision. But, you know, when you say rethink, I have nothing
what's the point of
currently in
alliances
mind,
if
but I
they're
will
not gonna
say that,
fucking do anything?
I'm not exactly thrilled when we helped them with Ukraine. Look, Ukraine would have been over in 1 day if we didn't help. Frankly, Ukraine would have been over in the first day. They had the best equipment in the world. It was our equipment, given by Sleepy Joe Biden. No charge, no charge. Hundreds of billions of dollars of the best equipment in the world, no charge. I will say that I'm not happy about it.
Mr. President.
Two questions, one on Iran and one on Cuba. Is Iran now a bigger foreign policy priority for you than China? And on Cuba, the Cuban government.
Iran is just a military operation to me. Iran is something that was essentially largely over in 2 or 3 days because the Navy was wiped out almost immediately. The Air Force came next. The anti-aircraft came next. I mean, we're flying over Iran. We could take out their electric capacity in 1 hour. We have all the. There's nothing they can do right
I mean,
now.
he obviously doesn't want to
Everything
do
is
that
knocked
because it
out.
puts
They have
the
no-
citizens at
again,
risk. So that's
no
why he's
radar, no
holding off
anti-aircraft,
on
they have nothing.
trying to fuck up
And,
everything.
We don't. And
Yeah, I
it was a
mean,
decision
if
I
you
made.
really
We
think about it, we
discussed
could fuck up
Pete, Marco,
everything.
JD, all of us, Chris, we discussed it. We can knock out their electricity in a matter of minutes if we wanted to. There's nothing they can do about it. We can knock out their oil in Carg Island. The only thing we didn't take down was their oil because if we knock out, I call them the pipes, very complex. But if you do that, it'll take them forever to rebuild, meaning whoever, and hopefully it's a sane group of people, but whoever it is that's going to be running that, and we're going to try to get people that are going to run it well, and it's going to be a prosperous, wonderful place. It used to be, if you go back, it used to be the people are great, the people are smart and energetic, and it used to be very successful. Now it's a country run by fear. It's a country where they tell protesters, don't go outside, because if you do, we're going to kill you.
Mr. President.
Well, Cuba right now is in very bad shape. They're talking to Marco, and
Yeah, Cuba, Venezuela, their economies are poop.
We're really focused on this, but
Because you got the
we're dealing
dictators,
with Cuba.
right,
Marco,
stealing
you
all
wanna
the
say a
money
couple of words about it?
and not giving it back to
Cuba
the
has an
people.
economy that doesn't work and a political
Or at least
governmental system that can't fix it.
they're being selective and giving it to
It's not dramatic enough. It's not going to fix it. So they've
the
got some
upper
big decisions
echelon
to make
people.
over there.
But Secretary Rubio, do you support, and I know this is up to Congress, but do you support easing the trade embargo if you get more cooperation from Havana?
Well, I'm not going to discuss what we would talk about or not. Suffice it to say that the embargo is tied to political change on the island. The embargo is codified. And but the bottom line is their economy doesn't work. It's a non-functional economy. It's an economy that has survived. That revolution. It's not even a revolution. That thing they have has survived on subsidies from the Soviet Union and now from Venezuela. They don't get subsidies anymore, so they're in a lot of trouble. And the people in charge they don't know how to fix it.
Yeah,
so they have to get new people in charge.
Yeah.
And the relationship we have with Venezuela has been, I think you could almost say, incredible. It's been really good. It's been good for Venezuela, and it's been good for us. And I congratulate the Venezuelan baseball team, because that was a big win. And I guess they play another game tonight in the finals. This is the first time they've ever been in the finals, and it was pretty exciting. Yeah.
Iran is just a military operation to you. But do you not have a day after plan? And if so, what is your day after plan for Iran?
Well, we have a lot. Look, if we left right now, it would take 10 years for them to rebuild. Countries in the Middle East, but with support. But we've had no support from, essentially, no support from NATO.
What about your relationship with London? Has it been damaged by the fact
You're not gonna ask Ireland any questions? What the fuck is this? I thought this was a bilateral meeting. What? Everybody wants to know about the war or the conflict
I went
or
out
the
of
military
my way, they
excursion.
couldn't make a deal with.
Oh,
with
they don't
Biden.
care about the bilateral
Because they had
deal
no
going
real
on with
administration
Ireland.
to
Nope.
make a deal with Biden.
No,
But
it's
we
all
made
about
a deal.
the
We made a good deal
conflict.
for them, and frankly, probably wasn't appreciated. I do look forward to seeing the king. He's going to be coming, as you know, very shortly. But no, I was disappointed because Keir was willing to send 2 aircraft carriers after we won, because essentially there's no threat for the aircraft carriers right now. And I said, no, we want things sent before the war, not after the war is won. So, yeah, I'm disappointed with Keir. I like him. I think he's a nice man, but I'm disappointed. You see that man right there? You know who that is?
Winston
The
Churchill.
late, great Winston Churchill.
Yeah.
And Barack Hussein Obama did not want his bust in this office. Did you know that? Barack Hussein Obama sent that bust back to England. They didn't want it. And when I came in, I was asked if I wanted it. I said, absolutely, I want it. And I put it right there, Winston Churchill. And, unfortunately, Keir is not Winston Churchill.
Do you have
No, hold it.
Just could I
Hold it.
just make a number of points? First of all, I think, notwithstanding what has happened, the transatlantic relationship between Europe and the US is very, very important on a number of fronts.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, you should allow the other countries to deal with the international fallout of the bullshit that they're not helping with.
We got a landing zone between Europe and the US, and I think we can get a landing zone again. And I think I just met with Keir Starmer last week. The British-Irish relationship is a very important one. Churchill was a great wartime leader, although in Ireland there was kind of a different perspective in terms of during our own War of Independence and so on. He created his own bit of difficulties for us. But that said, he was a great wartime hero. Keir Starmer has done a lot to reset the Irish-British relationship. I just want to put that on the record. But I do believe that he's a very earnest, sound person who I think you have a capacity to get on with, and you've got on with him before, and you've got on with other European leaders as well. Sure. And I think you have that capacity again, and I think everyone exists. I mean, you cannot have a rogue state with a nuclear weapon or the capacity for a nuclear weapon. Iran was a sponsor of terrorism. We sanctioned Iran, all European countries did, as a and the IRGC in particular as a terrorist organisation. They sponsored Hamas, they sponsored Hezbollah, the Houthis. They created mayhem, a most maligned force in the Middle East. The Irish position has always been, ultimately, can we resolve this can we get peace? And obviously there's preconditions before you get to that situation. We had our own conflict, which went on for 30 years, and we learned a lot from that in terms of how to try and bring about peace. And I think I've listened to you in terms of, you're correct, I mean, our hearts go to the Iranian people who have been repressed and suppressed for so many
Yeah, I mean, they're being oppressed as we speak. And nobody wants to help them.
Of Iranians some months ago. No one was in a position to do anything about that. I think, and likewise with Ukraine, I mean, the Russians did invade Ukraine, have attacked civilian infrastructure and so on like that. And for the people of Ukraine who just want peace and an opportunity to live, I think we have to continue to work to see, can we bring peace, different regime to Iran, where Iranians can live in peace again, and the people in the Middle East can live in peace. And you're doing your bit there in terms of the work in Gaza and so on like that. And I think that's what we want, is a peaceful resolution of conflict. That's where we come from as a small nation. Right. We've been peacekeepers all our lives. And we're the longest serving nation in terms of provision of peacekeeping forces in the world, as it turns out. But we think ultimately all conflicts come to an end, and I think we have to try and work towards that end. And I'm sure European leaders and the US administration will engage, and hopefully we can get a landing zone somewhere.
I mean, the only thing, and I agree with everything you said, but we helped with Ukraine.
Yes.
And they don't help with Iran. And they all acknowledge that Iran can't have a nuclear weapon. You yourself say, these are horrendous people. These are the worst people, and going back to Hitler, right? Going back to Hitler, these are the worst people. That's a long time ago, and there's been nothing close. Every problem, so many deaths, 90% of the people that got blown up by landmines, they loved them. Soleimani, we killed him. If we didn't, it might be a different story, because he was a horrible person, but he was a very powerful person and leader, smart. But we killed him. If we didn't, I think you'd have it. I did. But I think we'd have maybe a different situation. It wouldn't have been so easy as it has been, because it has been very easy. It's all of their military is there, but you can always have somebody drop a mine in the water. It's like terrorism.
Yep.
And then you have the people that own the billion-dollar ship saying, well, let's not move that ship yet because we want. So we thought that Europe would help that, because they do have some minesweepers. But it's amazing that, they all said, what a great job. They would call me congratulating us on the great job we did with respect to Iran, and we knocked the hell out of them. They're no longer the bully of the Middle East. They were known as the bully of the Middle East, and they're not the bully anymore. But
holy shit,
they would have said, we'd love to send.
Even the NATO chief was like, yeah, without the US's help, EU would be a fucking sitting duck. They're fucking waiting for their own demise.
I think it's very unfair to the United States.
I guess we'll watch that later.
Go ahead, please.
Keir Starmer isn't making...
She's a fantastic reporter, by the way. Go ahead.
Thank you. The Prime Minister isn't making the case to the British public as to why he should be supporting you. Could you do that now, talk to the UK and to GB News viewers about why it's in their interest that we help you?
Well, because we have a tremendous long-term relationship with the UK. I mean, people would say it's the best. I don't want to get into that, but we've had, it was the longest, the oldest, should be the best. Always was the best until Keir came along, and I like him. He's a nice man. He says everything beautiful. He's a very nice man with a beautiful family. Everything's perfect, but he doesn't produce. and I think it's very inexpensive. I just said, you don't have to send me aircraft carriers, send me a couple of minesweepers. We don't need your aircraft carriers. But even the aircraft carriers, he would only send them after we essentially won. I mean, he's sending them when there are no planes left, when the missiles are down to 8%. They have like 8% of the missiles. The rest we demolish the missiles, and the factories, largely the factories are going even as we speak. They just hit another factory. They have a lot of missile factories. They have a lot of drone factories, and so he's wants to send them when we don't need them. But we'd like to have minesweepers, because just in case. We don't know that there are any mines down, because we wiped down.
At this point, since we're so far away compared to like EU or UK, might as well just let them deal with it.
Put mines in the water.
Let them deal with the fallout.
This doesn't sound like a great country. This doesn't sound like a friendly country. But we killed all of those boats. They're at the bottom of the sea. So we don't even know if there are any mines there. But if there are, we'd like to have a little help in finding them. Probably most importantly.
Would you like a change of prime minister? Do you have confidence in Keir Starmer? Would you prefer to deal?
Well, it's not for me. It's really for the people of the UK to have confidence.
Of course, but is he
I've been very critical of Keir, and I did it in a friendly way. I said, if you don't change your energy thing and get away from windmills and go back to oil and gas, and you have something that's no other country has. Very few countries have anything like it, the North Sea. You have some of the greatest oil and oil deposits in the entire world, the North Sea. They don't use it. You buy a lot of your oil from Norway. You know where they get their oil? From the North Sea. And you pay a very big price. So why are you paying a lot of money? And I tell them, you have the better part of the North Sea. So why aren't they taking the oil from the North Sea? Why are they buying oil from Norway? But they have windmills all over the country, destroying those gorgeous Scottish fields and those beautiful fields all over the windmills, which don't work. They're tremendously expensive. And the best testament to that is the windmills are made in China, but China doesn't use them. You know what China uses? Coal. They're building 58 coal-fired plants right now, and that's up to them. But these foolish countries that are buying windmills, putting them out of business, I'm proudly telling you that we're going to try and have no windmills built in the United States during my...
What about Ireland, sir?
Because they're very bad. They're very bad environmentally. They kill the birds. They're unsightly. They make a lot of noise. And for some reason... the environmentalists love windmills, okay?
You say Keir Starmer is a very nice man. You say he's a very nice man.
I think he's a nice man. I think he's a nice man, but I disagree with him on two things, primarily. His immigration policy is a disaster, and his energy policy is a disaster. And they're about the biggest policies you can have. You've allowed millions and millions and millions of people to come into your country that shouldn't be there. And by the way, that's all over Europe. Europe is a different place. It's a different place. And I originate, to put it nicely, many of us do, from Europe. I love Europe. I've spent a lot of time in Europe. It's a different place. Bad things have happened to Europe. Very bad things. And you better do something about immigration, and you better do something about energy, or you won't have a Europe.
What's your time frame, Mr. President, for when cargo ships can safely go through the Strait?
It won't be, I don't believe, too long. We're knocking the hell out of the coast. It's basically the coast and the water, and it won't be too long. And the Middle Eastern states, including Israel, by the way, who has been terrific, the Middle Eastern states have been helping us a lot. Go ahead, you, please.
Mr. President, on fuel prices, what do you have to say to the people in Ireland who are paying sky-high prices because of your war in Iran?
Well, I think the people in Ireland are very happy that I'm getting rid of, I have a lot of friends from Ireland, they're very happy that I'm getting rid of a nuclear power, a nuclear terrorist, and as soon as that war's over, which will be soon, your prices are going to drop like a rock. You watch. I've been very good at predicting. No, in the back.
Mr. President, what do you think about our President's comments that your actions in Iran are breaking international law?
Say it.
What do you think about our president's comments?
Can you speak? You're speaking right into your phone.
Mr. President, how do you respond to the increased attacks by the Iraqi militia groups against the U.S. Embassy and consulate in the Kurdistan region?
You want to answer that, JD? Do you want to?
Yeah, well, Marco, obviously, the Secretary of State, has control over the embassy. Look, there have been a lot of militia attacks against our base, or our embassy in Iran. I think Marco's done a good job of limiting the number of people who are at that embassy so we can provide essential functions but also protect our people. But it goes to show there are a lot of terrorists in that region of the world, and we've got to eliminate them when we find them.
And you can't give them nuclear weapons. You can give them rifles, you can give them guns, you can't give them nuclear weapons. I think we agree very strongly on that.
Based on the immigration point.
Yes, excuse me.
Just first of all, I would say, like, Europe is still a very good place to live in.
Good.
A lot of, just to let you know.
I'm glad to hear that.
And our view is you have to have robust and fair rules around migration. But on the other hand, a lot of people, within the European Union, we have free mobility of people. And in Ireland, our population is growing, but in a very positive way. Our economy is going well because we're attracting a lot of people from Europe and beyond into work legally and validly in our country. In fact, I'd love if we could develop a legal pathway between the US and Ireland into the future because of our history and so on like that, that we could have a legal pathway because no one is in favour of illegal migration or and so forth. So you have to have robust rules for that. But fundamentally, I think sometimes Europe gets characterised wrongly in terms of it being overrun or whatever like that. It's much more robust now. There's much more stronger mechanism in place to facilitate legal migration. I think it's important that understanding is there. We need more economic growth in Europe. It doesn't have the same focus on innovation.
Yeah, we should be more like Poland or Ireland. Don't allow any of these fuckers to come in. Hey, if they want to seek asylum, they better do it the correct way, or seek asylum to the in the closest country they can.
And that's the key to, I think, our collective future. We do learn lessons. You're doing things and picking it up.
Prime Minister, Mr. President,
The Irish President has said that your war against Iran is illegal. It's an attack on international law.
Who said that?
The Irish President.
Look, he's lucky I exist. That's all I can say. Because if you're going to allow countries that are sick and demented, and they are demented, to have nuclear weapons, everybody in the whole world should be very thankful. And I'm disappointed in NATO, very disappointed. I'm disappointed in a couple of other countries too. But they should be very thankful that this group of people feels the way we do. Because if a country like Iran was allowed to have the power of a nuclear weapon, we didn't stop them. I stopped them twice. I stopped them my first term when I terminated the Iran nuclear deal, which was Barack Obama's deal. It was maybe the worst deal I've ever seen. It gave everything to Iran, including billions of dollars in green cash. I don't mean cash, I mean green cash flown over by airplanes. I can't to this day believe that was allowed to happen. And come to think of it, it would be a good thing for somebody to look at. Does the president have the power to hand hundreds of millions of dollars of cash to terrorists? But it began with that, and I terminated that deal. If I didn't terminate that deal, we might not be here right now. If I didn't terminate that deal, unbelievable nuclear holocaust would have taken place. And then I did it a second time when we hit them with the B-2 bombers, and we totally obliterated their potential nuclear weapon that they would have had in less than 1 month. They think 2 weeks, but in less than 1 month. And it would have been, I believe it would have been a much different world than it is right now. We have to go, we're going to a lunch, so maybe we'll take one more nice question.
Can I ask you how you're doing with your legal case against the BBC and their fake news documentary?
Well, the BBC was incredible. What they did is they had me speaking something I never said. And I've never seen anything quite like it. You know, CBS had that. We had the situation on 60 Minutes, and not the current owners, the past owners. The current owners, I think, are good, Ellison. But BBC took it a step further. They actually they put words in my mouth, and I said some pretty bad things. And I didn't say them. It was AI generated. And I said, I never said that. In fact, some of my people said, wow, that was pretty bad stuff you said. I said, what did I say? I'm pretty good at this stuff. I mean, if you can go through years of these press conferences and you're a popular president of the United States that won in a landslide, that won all 7 swing states, that got record numbers of votes, I mean, so I guess I'm okay at this stuff. I said, I never said that. And then we found out it was AI generated. And they admit they made a mistake. BBC. But I watched them this morning for some crazy reason, and it was so inaccurate. Their reporting on the war was unbelievable. We have decimated that country. And if you watch BBC, it's almost like they're fighting us to a draw.
Hey, man, you could go a lot harder if you wanted to.
It was very inaccurate news. It was fake news. So I'm very proud
Same
of
with
the term
Russia.
fake news.
Russia could have went a lot harder if they
My
wanted
term,
to.
I came up with it, but it's no longer accurate. It really is. It's corrupt, fraudulent news. It really is. It's fraudulent.
Well, a lot
It's
of
not
these,
just
right?
fake,
A lot of the
it's beyond
politicians
fake.
hold
It's
back
really
because they
criminal
don't
what
want to
they do.
fuck up and
But I watched
destabilize
BBC
the
this
whole
morning,
area.
And I don't know much about BBC other than what took place, because people were calling me saying, that was a terrible thing you said. I said, what did I say? And I said, I never said that. And when we checked it, you agree? They agree. It was somehow generated by AI or something.
Right. You could get the correct. Right. You could get the real transcript and probably cross-reference and probably see. Oh, looked like they fucking lied about
We'll
this.
see how it comes out. Thank you. I like that question. I like that question. Thank you very much. We'll see you later. Thank you.
All right, there we go. All right, let's see what EU NATO chief says.
I will praise him, and I don't mind him publishing text messages. And if anyone thinks here, again, that the European Union, so when President Trump is doing good stuff, I will praise him, and I don't mind him publishing text messages. And if anyone thinks here, again, that the European Union or Europe as a whole can defend itself without the US, keep on dreaming. You can't. We can't. We need each other. And why do we need each other? I tell you. First of all, because also the US needs NATO. And the US is not only in NATO to prevent a mistake after the First World War, not to re-engage with Europe. And then again, the long arm of history reaching out to the US again in the Second World War, as Churchill famously said in his speech in 1941 in the US Congress. They are also in NATO because for the US to stay safe, and by the way, Arctic region is evidence here, they need a secure Arctic, they need a secure Euro-Atlantic, and they also need a secure Europe. So the US has every interest in NATO as much as Canada and the European NATO, NATO allies.
Well, we need the
But for
information,
Europe, if
like
you really
everybody
want to
else
go it
does.
alone, and those who you are pleading for that, forget that you can ever get there with 5%.
That's why
It
we
will
have
be
a
10%.
alliance
You
with
have
a
to
lot
build
of
up
these
your own
people,
nuclear capability.
right?
That costs
I mean, isn't that why they asked the big bad boogeyman America to help them so much?
Ultimate guarantor of our freedom, which is the US nuclear umbrella. So, hey, good luck.
Got him. Yeah, exactly. Right. If anything, we didn't have to go to World War I or World War II, but we chose to. Oh, there we go. Oh, he just released the video on YouTube. Okay, so this is the video he showed off on Twitter. I thought, okay. So he released it on Twitter first and then released it on YouTube. I thought the video he made on Twitter was the same as the other one, just extended. But yeah, never mind. He released it on YouTube. Oh yeah, they're talking about the
Israel.
Yeah, the official who was ahead of the counterterrorism team. Yeah, he fucking left because he didn't like Trump's plan to deal with the Iran stuff. But here you go. Director of National Intelligence, National Counterterrorism Center. President Trump, after much reflection, I have decided to resign from my position as director of the National Counterterrorism Center, effective today. I cannot in good conscience support the ongoing war in Iran. Iran posed no imminent threat to our nation. I mean, he's not technically wrong, but at the same time, over the years, they've caused many problems to Americans, especially in the overseas countries. So it's like, I don't know about that one. And it's clear that we started the war due to pressure from Israel and its powerful American lobby. I kind of don't agree with that. Right, because Israel was already going into skirmishes with Lebanon, right? Iran, fucking Houthis from Yemen. So it's like, I don't know about that one. I support, well, they probably asked us for, right, resources, so that's probably why he's saying that. I support the values and the foreign policies that you campaigned on in 2016, 2020, 2024, which you enacted in your first term. Until June of 2025, you understood that the wars in the Middle East were a trap that robbed America of the precious lives of our patriots and depleted the wealth and prosperity of our nation. Yeah, I mean, you are diverting a lot of resources to these overseas countries, but at the same time, you have to get information, right? And information costs money. In your first administration, you understood better than any modern president how to decisively apply military power without getting us drawn into never-ending wars. Oh, you mean like the precision strikes? You demonstrated this by killing Qasem Soleimani. You died like a dog. And by defeating ISIS. Early in the administration, high-ranking Israeli officials and influential members of the American media deployed a misinformation campaign that wholly undermined your America First platform and sowed pro-war sentiments to encourage a war with Iran. Well, that's, you could say the military-industrial complex on that one. Right. And you had a bunch of, you have all the news media outlets talking shit all the time, too. Right? Well, at least some of them. This echo chamber was used to deceive you into believing that Iran posed an imminent threat to the United States. I don't know about that one. Right? These guys are so privy to confidential information that they don't allow the American public to see, so it's like, I think you're talking out of your ass a little bit here. And that should you strike now, there was a clear path to a swift victory. This was a lie, and is the same tactic the Israelis used to draw us into disastrous Iraq war that cost our nation the lives of thousands of our best men and women. We cannot make this mistake again. Yeah, but you can't blame Trump for that one. That was fucking Bush. Like, what are you talking about? Right, the Iraq war started with Bush, and then Obama, right, and then Trump pulled back, well, Trump tried to pull back some of our troops, and then you had Biden fuck everything up, and fucking left a bunch of shit and got some service members killed. I was like, yeah, that's not good. So, this was a lie, and is this... we cannot make this mistake again. As a veteran who deployed to combat 11 times, and as a Gold Star husband who lost my beloved wife, Shannon, in a war manufactured by Israel, I cannot... Oh, that's probably why. See? That's probably why. I cannot support sending the next generation off to fight and die in a war that serves no benefit to the American people, nor justify the cost of American lives. Well, sure, they're not being affected back home, but I mean, you have a lot of soldiers overseas at these military bases, living in these other countries as well. I pray, so it's like, if anything, the targeted people would be, American lives overseas. Not any of the American lives back at home. So it's like, okay, whatever. I pray that you will reflect upon what we are doing in Iran and who we are doing it for. The time for bold action is now. You can reverse course and chart a new path for our nation. When we just divested a lot of resources into fucking up all that shit. Yeah, I don't know about that. I'm pretty sure Trump is gonna go all in at this point. Right, we've already invested so many resources to try and fix this situation. Right, for 47 years, by the way. Like, dude, that's a lot of fucking investment. And then nothing came of it. Right? They didn't want to negotiate. They kept fighting. So it's like, at this point, fuck them. To fight and die in a war that serves no... I pray that you will reflect upon what we're doing about Iran. The time for bold action is now. You can reverse course and chart a new path for our nation, or you can allow us to slip further toward decline and chaos. Brother, there's already chaos and decline in our home fucking country. What are you talking about? With all the fraud and fucking open border policies you guys enacted? Right? And you also have some terrorists in your, right, back home that haven't been caught yet. Right? Because they're fucking under the radar. Because you let in a bunch of illegal fucking aliens. Like, what are you talking about, dude? You hold the cards. It was an honor to serve in your administration and to serve our great nation. Again, these guys are... Right, these guys are privy to a lot more information than what they can tell the American public. I was like, yeah, whatever. Well, I mean, at least he had the balls to
the acting chief of staff to Tulsi Gabbard, and you know, not everybody.
He had the balls to resign himself.
Is a subcomponent of the office of the director.
Right, no one made him do it. He did this himself.
Is the chief. So one thing you're seeing play out is sort of what does Kent's statement, who was a close ally of Gabbard, mean about how Gabbard really feels about this war? And we know, if you rewind the clock to the strikes on Iran's nuclear program and 3 Iranian nuclear sites in 2025, Tulsi Gabbard was cut out of those planning efforts and basically has not played any operational role when it comes to Iran since then. She has, as you just mentioned, been sort of conspicuously silent on Iran issues in recent weeks since this campaign started. So, you know, she is testifying on the Hill tomorrow before the Senate Intelligence Committee, and it's going to be really interesting to see how she handles this issue. So those are a couple like next day questions that I'm sure are top of minds for lawmakers, even inside the Trump administration, as they go after some of these folks. The integrity of Kent, having put out this statement, really challenging the president.
Absolutely, and I think that that's what adds some color to maybe what we can be looking ahead to as the week goes on. I do, John, while I have you, put up this statement as well that's just coming into our newsroom from the independent Bernie Sanders there in Vermont. Saying, Joseph Kent, a top counterterrorism official under Trump, just resigned. Kent and I don't agree on much,
Chucky.
but he is
Oh my
right.
God, Chuck E. Cheese kicked a little girl. What the fuck?
Leftward and seeing how the other folks are now responding. He also mentioned that Kent did not have the easiest time getting confirmed, and there have been a lot of Democrats who said in the wake of this resignation that he never needed to be in office. We know where this is sort of stemming from.
Fucking couldn't see. I accidentally kicked the girl, man.
Yeah, so Kent, when he ran for Congress in 22 and 2024, he took some sort of
he's just like, oh shit,
that
man.
The Democrats were not a fan of. He claimed the 2020 election was stolen. He gave some interviews with Holocaust deniers and Nazi sympathizers. I think Kent later said he didn't know what their political affiliations were, but he is, you know, a tried and true sort of adherent to a lot of different MAGA principles, which of course are not what Democrats love. So he had a tough time getting confirmed, and it's interesting. I mean, you mentioned the statement from Sanders. I saw one earlier put out by Senator Mark Warner, who's the vice chair of the Intelligence Committee, and Warner said, you know, validate what Joe Kent put out there in terms of there being no imminent threat from Iran. This is a powerful statement the American people should pay attention to. But he also caveated those statements by a few sentences on, you know, Joe Kent is not somebody who I have agreed with in the past, and you know, I really questioned whether he was fit for this role in the first place. So you're seeing this statement sort of force these awkward contortions by people who you know, want to seize on what Joe Kent said, but don't necessarily think Joe Kent is the best messenger for that.
All right, it is interesting to see how all of this is playing out in Washington, D.C., and who might next fill that role. And so, John, before I let you go, anything else that we're sort of need to cover as we're tackling this topic?
I would just go back to the hearing tomorrow. I think it's going to be really interesting to see how Tulsi Gabbard handles questions about her affiliation with Kent, what her views on the Iran war really are. Again, this is a close ally coming out and questioning why the president went to war at all in Iran. And she's going to be on the stand tomorrow, where she swears to tell the truth before members of Congress. So that's what I would look to for some, high drama television tomorrow.
Well, we certainly appreciate you for joining us here on Live Now from Fox as we're breaking down some of this breaking news that's just now coming into our newsroom. John, thanks so much.
Thanks, Christina.
All right, wanted to make sure we're able to give you just a piece of what we're watching here on Live Now from Fox. And as we're still getting some of this reaction in, we're going to continue to show you that on both sides of the aisle. But we also know that while President Trump was in that news conference sitting with the Irish Prime Minister, his press secretary, Caroline Leavitt, put out a full statement on her X account. And so I do want to put this up on your screen. But before I do, I want to show you just how lengthy this statement is. It goes front and back on this stage. And so I'm going to go ahead and read it out for you while also putting up just a portion of it on your screen. And so she does start off with this. There are many false claims in this letter, but let me address one specifically, that Iran posed no imminent threat to our nation. This is the same false claims that Democrats and some in the liberal media have been repeating over and over. As President Trump has clearly and explicitly stated, he had strong and compelling evidence that Iran was going to attack the United States first. This evidence was compiled from many sources and factors. President Trump would never make the decision.
Probably from confidential information that the Pentagon or the military is getting. I mean, I feel like people forget that there's a lot of confidential information that the Pentagon and the military receives, and they can't tell the American public.
Operation Epic Fury. Iran was aggressively expanding their short-range ballistic missiles to combine with their naval assets to give themselves immunity, meaning that they would have the degree of capabilities that would give them immunity to hold us and the rest of the world hostage. The regime aimed to use those ballistic missiles as a shield to continue achieving their ultimate goal: nuclear weapons. The president, through his top negotiators, gave the regime every possible.
I wonder why no one's talking about the secret ship holding some kamikaze drones coming for California. No one's talking about that shit anymore.
And potential economic partnerships with our country, but they would not say yes to peace because obtaining nuclear weapons was their fundamental goal. It does go on to the back of this page.
Yeah, I mean, we've been negotiating with them for 47 years and nothing came out of it.
Israel would greatly reduce
These people
the
keep
risk
causing
to
fucking
American
problems.
lives that would come first from a first strike by the terrorist Iranian regime and address this imminent threat to America's national security interests. All of this led to President Trump arriving at the determination that this military operation was necessary for U.S. national security, which is why he launched the massively successful Operation Epic Fury.
Hey, if nobody wants to help next time, hey, you let them deal with it then. Right, the U.S. should pull back all of its troops then. Hey, you guys don't want to help? All right, see ya. You deal with it.
And finally, the absurd allegation that President Trump made this decision based on the influence of others, even foreign nations, is beyond insulting and laughable. President Trump has been remarkably consistent, and he has for decades said that Iran can never possess a nuclear weapon. As someone who actually witnesses President Trump's decision-making process on a daily basis, I can attest to the fact that he is always looking to do what's in the best interest of the United States of America, period. Signing off there at the very end saying America first. And so once again, that was the very lengthy statement that we had here from Press Secretary.
Yeah, also, no one's talking about the Afghanistan-Pakistan war over here. Right. None of the news media outlets are covering the Pakistan-Afghanistan war, dude. And they're the ones who said they were going into war. They're the ones who declared war.
Admin source says that Joe Kent had, quote, become a problem.
Nobody's talking about it.
Odd dude. end quote. This source confirms that Kent was a, quote, known leaker, as was reported by Aisha Hasni there with Fox News. So still so much to uncover. Here on Live Now from Fox, we'll continue to keep you updated. Let's slide away for a quick 2-minute commercial break. Stay right here with us.
All right. Oops, I didn't mean to do that.
A 36-year-old father.
Oh, not yet. But yeah, we'll see this. Apparently, Pakistan hit a hospital,
Blackened earth, the rubble of what
saying
used to
they're
be a
targeting
drug
terrorist
rehabilitation center was
infrastructure.
Still smoldering on Tuesday morning.
I mean,
authorities say the
yeah,
center
some
in
hospitals
Kabul
are
was
probably
struck
helping the
around 9
terrorists.
p.m. on
But,
Monday,
I mean,
killing and wounding
yeah.
hundreds. The Taliban government has blamed Pakistan.
Innocent people were living in this area. All were addicts who were admitted.
What was the
here for
terrorist
treatment.
group in
We
Afghanistan? Is it
condemn
Al
this
Qaeda
act.
or ISIS? I forgot.
In a nearby hospital, some of those injured are receiving treatment. They say the strike came out of nowhere.
I was in the kitchen cooking for the patients when I heard the sound of an aircraft and the kitchen filled with fire. I rushed outside and saw everything was burning. After that, I lost consciousness, and I don't remember anything.
Oh yeah, it's Al
Pakistan
Qaeda.
has denied
Okay.
targeting the center. The information minister said this footage released Tuesday
And then
showed,
they had
quote,
the
precision
ISKP,
airstrikes on
the Islamic
military
State
infrastructure in
Khorasan-
both Kabul and the
Khorasan
eastern province of
province.
Nangarhar.
The
And then-
visuals
oh yeah,
leave
the
no
Taliban
room for
as
doubt.
well, right?
The
Al
flames
Qaeda and the
and
Taliban.
secondary detonations
There it is.
witnessed in Kabul further confirm
And then what? Pakistan
that the
has
intended
ISIS?
ammunition storage site was hit with precision.
The bombing marks a sharp escalation in the conflict between the neighbors, which reignited in late February after peace talks failed to produce a breakthrough last year.
No, Taliban.
Islamabad
So
has long accused Kabul
a
of
different
harboring
subgroup of
terrorist groups
Taliban.
it says carry out attacks inside Pakistan. The Taliban deny the allegation, saying
and then they have
tackling
some
militancy
other
is
militant groups
Pakistan's
with them.
internal problem.
Pakistan. So it's probably the Taliban that left Afghanistan and decided to make Pakistan its home. Lashkar-e-Taiba, LET, Pakistan group with a long history of targeting India. Jaish-e-Mohammed, founded by Masad Azhar, specialized in suicide attack. Hizb ul-Mujahideen. Oh yeah, the Mujahideen. Yeah. Operates in India, Kashmir. Yeah. Oh, they do have ISIS here. A regional affiliate of ISIS. So they got the Mujahideen, ISIS, Taliban versus Pakistan with, Afghanistan with, right, the oppositional Taliban force of, because I guess they didn't like what was going on. Right? They splintered off into different factions. And Al-Qaeda. As you can see, there's a lot of different ideologies, right, taking their stance with certain nations or certain government stuff. Oh, what is this?
As war. Whether through extensive military support, seizing Russian assets, upholding sanction regimes, disrupting shadow fleets, loan guarantees, humanitarian assistance, reconstruction projects, or supporting your parliament to function. We are unwavering. One day, I hope to welcome you.
Oh, apparently
to a true
Zelensky's in
celebration,
UK
a
right now,
celebration of
about to give
Ukraine,
an
which is free and democratic,
a speech.
no longer fighting for its survival. Until then, it is such an honour to welcome you here again and to hear directly from you. We stand with you. Slava Ukraine! Mr. President, the floor is yours.
Right, the UK is more willing to help Zelensky because Russia is the immediate threat close to them. versus the Middle East nations. Or Iran, I should say.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much, Lord Speaker, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Prime Minister, dear Keir, Mr. Secretary General, dear Mark, dear members of Parliament, dear journalists, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for all your attention to us, to Ukraine, and for the
Hey, maybe
support
we
that
should pull
Britain
back our
and the British
resources
people
from
have
Ukraine and
given
let
us
the
since
whole
start
EU and
of
UK
Russia's
deal with it.
full-scale war.
I wonder how that's gonna go.
We have saved many, many lives, and we can save many more. Now, among Ukrainians, trust in the United Kingdom is one of the highest compared to all our partners, and it's absolutely well deserved. It comes from your support, your leadership, and your cooperation with us. When Ukrainians think of Britain, they know they can trust it, and I thank you for that. Thank you. And I'm grateful that you truly care about what will happen to security, to our cities and villages, to our countries, and to our Europe, and to our world. We are another generation that must think about what comes next for the world. This means we are already in history, but it's up to us whether history stops with us or continues as human history. Not AI, not drones, not anything like that. Will this still be a world where people live above the ground, under the sun, not underground, under concrete just to stay safe? It's up to us to decide. And we're here.
Hey, basically, he's talking living in
building
bomb
of the
shelters and
British
shit like that.
Parliament, calm and safe, not in a shelter. On your way here, you saw 3 branches over the streets, not protective nets against FPV drones. And all of us here worry a little about having fast mobile internet or Wi-Fi nearby, not about whether strong mobile air defense teams are on duty close to us. This way of life, open space, normal streets, normal buildings, not underground, feels so simple, so familiar, as if it has always been there. It's almost impossible to imagine it ending. But what guarantees that it will continue? Only our determination. The world has entered a completely new time, a time of drones, a time of AI. This means the evolution of weapons, the evolution of war, and the evolution of crime. No one can predict where this evolution will lead, but we must keep up with it, and even more, we must stay ahead of it. People want certainty, and it is always the strongest demand any society makes of its leaders. People want to know what tomorrow will bring, and people want to believe that tomorrow for their children, for their families, will be at least no worse than today for them. And when they don't see a future, people begin to support those who reject everything, offering something entirely different, something that can break the very foundations of society. So we must have an answer that
You mean your alliances?
safe.
Oh, what are you talking about?
And this is
Or are you talking about a world power, right, trying to increase
and
its
there are no social services and truly work and
territory?
no real hope for a normal life for our children. And this is our duty, the duty of this generation of leaders who are acting now. We must deliver real security, safety on the streets, safety at home, the protection of our culture, and real respect for the rights and security of our people, and national security proven by war. Ladies and gentlemen, right now, There are 201 Ukrainians in the Middle East and Gulf region, and another 34 are ready to deploy. These are military experts who know how to help, how to defend against Shahid drones. Our teams are already in the Emirates, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and on the way to Kuwait. We are working with several other countries. Agreements are already in place. We do not want this terror of the Iranian regime against its neighbors to succeed. And I sent these military experts.
Oh, even Zelensky's like, yeah, we don't want the Iranian terrorist organizations to fuck up, to try and go over to fucking up the EU because there's another war going on.
Similar deals to all our reliable partners.
Yeah, you're lucky enough the U.S. is dealing with the Iran stuff so that fucking EU doesn't have to deal with it. While they focus on the Ukraine stuff.
Capability outside their security.
Man, what a nice guy Trump is, huh?
It wouldn't be wise.
Losers.
The United Kingdom sees these opportunities clearly.
Always talking shit.
Always solid, and I'm glad
especially when terrorism is around the fucking corner.
With the Prime Minister. Thank you very much, Keir. Armies in the Middle East and Gulf region have good protection against missiles, including Iranian ballistic ones. Patriot and THAAD systems work well, though they're expensive. But terrorist regimes always look for ways to break through defenses and make killing cheaper. Iran began producing Shahid drones years ago, attack drones that are now...
Yeah, and Obama gave them more money to fucking make those drones, too.
In Ukraine, we had to learn how to defend
the kamikaze drones.
About 3 years ago, Russia received Shahids from the Iranian regime. These are drones designed for the low-cost destruction of the expensive critical infrastructure targets. Iran taught Russia how to launch them and gave it the technology to produce them. Russia then upgraded them, and now we have clear evidence that Iranian Shahids used in the region contain...
Oh, see, even Zelensky is saying, hey, they got some of that tech from Iran and they're using it in fucking Ukraine. Oh, look at that. Oh, the fact that we're the fact that we're diverting Iran's attention. Isn't that being helpful? Huh? Fucking retards. God, I hate our fucking government.
However big and beautiful, or by anything else, ballistic missiles can strike at thousands of kilometers. Drones can do the same.
Even Zelensky's like, yes, thank you, America, for holding back that line so that they don't come and fuck us.
No ocean will help. No desert. No mountains. That is why it is worth helping protect life. The regimes in Russia and Iran are brothers in hatred. And that is why they are brothers in weapons. And we want regimes built on hatred to never win in anything. And we want no such regime to threaten Europe or our partners.
See? Hey, look at that. Zelensky has a good fucking head on him. Holy shit.
Ukraine tried to live in peace with Russia. And 2 invasions in 10 years. This is the result. The Middle East has not had a single year of real peace while this regime has been in Iran. And we are entering a time when such regimes are gaining new ways to kill cheaply, over long distances, using AI, and as before, simply because they want to destroy you and can force their own people to
even Zelensky's like, yo, you should probably help America out a little bit, right? I mean, right, they let us use their bases and stuff, but at the same time, they're not diverting a lot of resources to help with the Iranian offense.
Aircraft, which is also very expensive. Iranians knew that no air defense in the world would be enough to stop such drones, such number of drones. And we were the ones who changed that. In Ukraine, we stopped one such drone with 2 or 3 interceptors, small interceptors, costing less than $10,000 in total. So our approach is far more cost-effective than anything our partners use today. Dear friends, we must build security the way so that the evolution of security stays ahead of the evolution of war. And it is not only about a state launching attacks. We must be ready for any kind of strike, including from non-state actors, criminal networks, terrorist groups, and even lone attackers who can gain access to such technologies. With the spread of drones, mass attacks no longer cost billions, they cost far less. It is no longer only a wealthy madman like Putin who can afford these.
Hey, if people want to be angry at the U.S. helping people so much, maybe we should not help anyone anymore.
Is still being given money as sanctions on his
yeah, see how that goes, and let them deal with it.
Thank you.
They're gonna be fucking crawling back to America asking for help real quick.
Thank you so much. And we see the same way, strong support for Ukraine, strong sanctions against Russia, and strong joint defense projects are the only basis for effective diplomacy.
Yeah, honestly, the fact that alleviating the pressure on Ukraine from a different fucking overseas faction is more helpful to them than the fucking other nations not fucking getting into it. Right, these people want to stay neutral so much, but they've helped Ukraine so much, so it's like, what are you talking about? Neutral? Motherfuckers, you ain't neutral at all.
Right now, I have proof that
right, you basically have a you have an offense in both in two fronts. Right, Iran maybe trying to go over to the EU to fuck shit up. While Russia fucking pincer attacks. You don't want to be pincered, man.
My Prime Minister has one, our Minister of Defense, and our top military commanders. They have it. It lets us see the front line.
Like the fact that a lot of people can't fucking see that is fucking wild.
Right now, 90% of Russian
why would you want to get pincered attacked from two ends?
That's why it's so important to know who has the advantage in drones and to be fast and strong in defending against them. iPad also shows every strike in our skies, our sea area, and our long-range strike against Russia. It gives us real-time control over people's safety and our infrastructure and energy sector. And I believe the evolution of security will make it possible for every leader, every defense minister, and even ordinary people to have tools like these, and with them, a high level of protection of life. Leaders and ministers work for people. And if the leaders have power, it's only because people trust them with their security. With tools like these, people will not only trust, they will be able to see for themselves what is being done for their security in real time. We see these are examples, you can see, we see every large-scale Russian attack on our cities in detail. Launch, points, flight, path, likely targets. The system let us analyze each attack and how our defense responds as a whole.
Oh, I wonder who gave you that technology for help.
We see what is happening in the sky and what resources are being used to protect us.
Obviously, a lot of this, a lot of the information that's being traded is confidential information.
And it's true.
So,
no nice in Ukraine without Russian
we're not
attacks.
The American people or a lot of people from just non-combatant citizens or who have nothing to do with the military. They're kept away from the confidential information because it does no good to give them confidential information.
Investment in our defense production and enough missiles against
these people aren't soldiers.
And these are our two main shortages: funding and Patriot missiles. That's why we are working to involve our partners in production and to help Europe build all the air defense it needs. Here is the massive attack on the night of March 14. In total, there were, can you imagine, there were nearly 500 Russian air attack weapons, 400 sortie drones, and 68 missiles of different types. And we shut down most of them, and in real time, on this iPad, in our system, we could see how our aircraft were working, where electronic warfare was used, and how interceptors were deployed. And of course, our mobile air defense teams are also working, and we see it all on the iPad across the whole country and down to each individual strike, how the defense worked, what needs fixing, which solutions in which areas will bring the best results. We do this after every Russian attack. It means each day. It is this layered defense that ensures Russia cannot destroy us from the air. Every part of the system must be used. Our newest element is interceptor drones. When conditions and weather allow, we use hundreds of them every day. These works thanks to our production in Ukraine and with our partners, Sting, Mirovs, P1Sun, and others. And I'm glad we have a joint project with the United Kingdom, the Octopus drones. This is successful decision, successful interceptions depend on well-placed positions of our soldiers, set up to cover as many drone routes as possible. And it is constant hunting at night, and now even during the day. And you see how many Patriot systems and other air defense systems there are in the Middle East and the Gulf. But there is still not enough security. Why? Why not enough security? Because the Iranian regime's weapons have evolved faster than defense in these countries. This is a problem that must be solved and can be solved. And as soon as possible, we all understand what comes next. AI is already in many devices we use every day. Soon almost everything will run on it. And weapons will too, becoming even more deadly because they will act faster than any human. By building protection against today's weapons, by investing in the evolution of security, we are also preparing for the weapons of tomorrow. Perhaps we are preventing a problem. And if the world has stopped Putin back in 2022, we would not be thinking today about how to defend against drone warfare. Without his war against Ukraine, the world might have avoided mass drone warfare, cheap and deadly, for many, many years. And if together with partners,
well, I mean,
in
it's
the Middle
cheaper
East,
than
we
sending
build a
in
system
troops.
like Ukraine, they will be able to track attacks from Iran or from the Houthis in real time, analyze them.
And that's why they keep using drones and robots to deal with it.
Critical infrastructure and trade routes, real security.
Right. Human
Today,
lives
just a
are
few
not something you
shaheds
can fucking
disrupt all shipments at
put
a
on the
scale
front
that
line
affects
because,
entire
right,
regions,
you're
or
gonna lose a
destroy
lot of people, and then
desalination
and then it's gonna
plants
take
and
time
hit
to
millions of
recuperate
people
all
in the
those
most
losses
painful
that you
way. The cost
allowed
of
to
living
happen.
is rising everywhere, and terrorists around the world are learning what they too can do. And we all know the solutions that can prevent this. Some may think it is enough to just buy interception and protection is guaranteed, but it's not that simple. The key is the system. The system matters. And there have already been cases when partners bought interceptors but still had no ask for help because they did not have a system to use them. And without a system, any interceptor is just a toy, not a real defender. So what do we have? First, we are capable of producing at least 2,000 effective and combat-proven interceptors every day. We can produce more. It depends on investment. We need about 1,000 interceptors a day, and we can supply at least another 1,000 a day to our allies. Second, we know how to build radar and acoustic coverage to respond to how Shaheeds and other drones approach. Third, we have software that allows radars to keep working even under electronic warfare, jamming in real time. We analyze enemy frequencies and respond to them. And because of this system, we understand how effective our defense is against almost every attack drones. And we can move our positions and air defense to get better results. This iPad gives full control of the situation because we have a system for using our defense tools. If a Shahed needs to be stopped in Emirates, we can do it. If it needs to be stopped in Europe or United Kingdom, we can do it. It's a matter of technology, investment, and cooperation. And the fact that we go through this winter, which Russia tried to make deadly for all our families, shows that our
I gotta use the restroom.
work.
But I want to hear the rest
keep
of this.
Improving them in line with the threats we face and those that are coming. The evolution of threats never stops. For example, your military bases in Cyprus is what our security proposal could look like. Our experts would place interception teams and set up radars and acoustic coverage, and this would all work. If Iran launched a large-scale attack similar to Russian attacks, we would guarantee protection. This is the kind of reinforcement we offer, and it may soon be needed across Europe. And drones can be launched not only from land, but also from ships at sea. Such long-range strikes are no longer rare. Different countries already use them, and since European seas still have many targets from Russia's Shadow Fleet, launching drones from such vessels is no longer something unexpected. Ukraine didn't have a strong navy like Britain or some of our other partners, but we have pushed what is left of Russia's fleet into distant base in the Black Sea, where their ships hide from Ukrainian sea drones. This is a completely new security reality in our sea. The Russian fleet, which was powerful, has no effective way to counter our drones. Their defenses have been strong. We do not deny that. But our naval drone systems keep evolving, and we focused on the speed of that evolution, and we won our sea. We started with simple kamikaze sea drones, then we built drones with turrets that can shoot down helicopters. Now we have drones that can shoot down Russian fighter jets from the sea. We have developed boats that carry other drones. We also have boats that strike targets on land from the sea, and we are developing more stable drones that can operate longer and more effectively at sea. Soon, and not in the distant future, we will have systems that can operate even in ocean conditions. We are also effectively working on underwater systems. So, facing threats in the Black Sea, we are finding the right security solutions. And these solutions can be used in your matters as well, including in complex situations like the Strait of Hormuz today. Drones can solve problems that even a fleet sometimes cannot. And of course, we also have full information about what is happening on the ground, real ground in Ukraine, and the front line completely. This iPad gives full control over movement along the front. All changes are tracked and fully verified over any period, not just partially. Ukraine collects, analyzes, and uses data on the full battlefield situation. We track every engagement and every change along the front. And we have video proof for almost every figure of Russian losses we report. This winter alone, Russia lost more than 92,000 killed and seriously wounded, each confirmed by video. So these are people who will not return to the battlefield. This is the first example in the world of full digital tracking of war. Russia may try to mislead satellites or adjust reports in the highest offices around the world. But if this iPad shows that Kupiansk, this is our big city in Kharkiv region, Kupiansk is under our control, then it is true. If it shows that in the past 30 days we have regained more territory than Russia has taken, then it is true. Clear numbers, clear positions on the map. And without this kind of digital tracking, and without a system to collect and analyze real...
By the way,
data,
Zelensky
it's
saying that the
impossible to
U.S.
fight
is
a
doing
modern
a great
war
job
effectively.
holding off the
Defend
Iranian
your
defense
country,
or
manage a
Iranian
wartime
offense.
economy, or
Yeah, all the
understand
other
the
countries
cause
are
of
going to be
peace
like, oh,
when
we don't
this
care.
aggression is stopped
Trump
and real
shouldn't have done
security
this.
is guaranteed. Ladies and gentlemen, our belief that we can stop
We hate Trump.
even a much stronger enemy and guarantee
Big
real
boogeyman,
independence
USA.
and real security is not something abstract. Ukrainians
Baba
are
Yaga, USA.
practical people, very practical. Ukraine is the best place today to produce drones, to develop technology. It's also one of the best places to produce artillery and to test what really works in weapons and in tactics. Ukrainians are creating new ways to protect their life on the battlefield, in our cities, villages, in our infrastructure, at sea, in the sky. And we didn't become this technological by chance. Our strength through more than 4 years of full-scale war is not by chance either. This is the result of work. This is the result of our system. And we offer real defense cooperation, and we are already working together, not from zero. On today's battlefield on land, in the air, at sea, success depends on speed and on smart, system-based solutions. And this is our answer to Russia. We do not say Russia cannot innovate. It can, but it does so to kill.
A brief with
kill,
brief
to
that
maim,
Iran's new
to
supreme
destroy.
leader
This is what it does best,
Mojtaba
as do the
Khamenei
Ayatollahs.
is probably gay.
You can see it in how Shahis have involved from
And president has
something
priceless
like weapons of
reaction.
the Blitz to
Yeah,
drones that
apparently I
are
guess the
faster, more deadly, and
Pentagon
already
or
using
the
AI.
military
But we know
obtained some
how to
information
stop
that he
this
might be
because
gay.
we have system, and the system of defense
I don't
that
know.
works with what you and other partners use. We have strong coordination between the front and our defense industry, and we have something else, the skill and thinking of Ukrainian soldiers. Often, ideas from one unit, one brigade, when scaled up, solve problems that once seemed impossible. All of these works together. And it helps us fight with fewer resources than Russia, but with more dignity. Dignity. This is the main thing what we have. Dignity of our people. We must go further. We must build modern defense forces together. Only together with you, with all our allies in Europe, we must produce all levels of air defense against drones and all types of missiles, including ballistic. Our seas must be secure, and our forces in other seas must be protected from all threats. Europe not only has this potential, it also has a mission to protect not only itself, but what it believes in. We believe in people, in their rights and freedom. We believe in culture,
London safe
and we
now?
want
No, we
monsters
got
to
a bunch of
live
knife
in
crimes now
real
instead
peace,
of gun
strong
crimes.
peace, and communities in
Like
respect.
I
Together,
said, look,
Europe is a
no
global
matter
force,
what you do,
one of
even
the
if you take away all the guns, you're gonna get an uptick in other other crimes like knife crimes,
and
beat
we can do
downs.
it, and we must direct
Right.
it, and we can. We must act now so that the future generations
Also, it's easier to
these
it's
leaders
easier to attain a knife, man. You just go into any store with a kitchenware and it's like knives all over the fucking place.
so that our defense stays ahead
Yeah, you
of
could go
those
to a
who
hardware
want to
store to
kill.
get a
Please,
fucking saw and saw
work
people.
with us as closely as possible so that neither Kiev nor London,
Right, no matter how much gun control you do, it's not going to stop the it's not going to stop the crimes.
under concrete, without a safe sky.
Sure, it may look good on your data and
in
your
a world
portfolio,
where drones rule instead of
but in
people,
actuality, you're
you
still
should
going to get
have
other crimes.
tools
Right, you're
like
going to get
this
knife crimes,
iPad, which means having the
people getting
system
killed
of
by
protection, the system
brutal
we can
beatings
build
and shit.
together. Today I began my visit with an audience with His Majesty King Charles, and I gave him the iPad. really like this, as a sign of respect and gratitude, and to strengthen our cooperation with the United Kingdom, with your great country. Thank you so much.
Are you going to, am I just going to do
Just one. One tenth.
All right, we wanted to bring that to you in full as the Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is addressing the UK Parliament. Seems like he's making just a few last remarks. Let's continue to listen.
And His Majesty asked, me if I had another iPad. I said, I only have my own left, and I can't give that up. And His Majesty said he would share it with the Prime Minister. Thank you so much.
I just want to thank you.
Thank you so much. Too long, yeah. I'm sorry. Sorry.
Can I give you a speech?
All right, as you see there, we were listening to Ukraine's
Oh, look, there's the loser, Keir Starmer.
as he's addressing the UK Parliament, standing there beside the Prime Minister in the United Kingdom, Keir Starmer, as well. And so this was a very high-profile meeting that we were waiting to see and waiting to hear some of these remarks on the back end. But according to the Associated Press, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky today sought support from the UK Prime Minister. This is at a time when the Iran war has now revived, has sort of robbed U.S. broker talks to end Russia's invasion of Ukraine. And so that conversation was happening simultaneously with a conversation happening overseas as well. NATO's chief has also been present for those talks there in the UK. President Trump also speaking out today about NATO. I want to put this up on your screen. It's there from his Truth Social site saying this, that the United States has been informed by most of our NATO allies that they don't want to get involved with our military operation against the terrorist regime of Iran in the Middle East. This despite the fact that almost every country strongly agreed with what we are doing and that Iran cannot in any way, shape, or form be allowed to have a nuclear weapon. I am not surprised by their action, however, because I have always considered NATO, where we spend hundreds of billions of dollars per year protecting these same countries, to be a one-way street. We will protect them, but they do not do anything for us, in particular in the time of need. Fortunately, we have decimated Iran's military. Their navy is gone. Their air force is gone. Their anti-aircraft and radar is gone. And perhaps most importantly, their leaders at virtually every level are gone, never to threaten us, our Middle Eastern allies, or the world again. Because of the fact that we have such a great military success, we no longer need or desire the NATO countries' assistance. We never did. Likewise, Japan, Australia, or South Korea. In fact, speaking with the President of the United States of America, by far the most powerful country anywhere in the world, we do not need the help of anyone. Thank you for your attention to this matter. And so that was the full statement put out on his social media by President Trump as he's discussing NATO. We also heard from President Trump just a short while ago while he was in the Oval Office. He said today that, again, he had been informed by most of its NATO allies that they did not want to get involved with the country's military operation in Iran. This is a move that he has since described as a very foolish mistake. Speaking there, President Trump said that NATO countries were supportive of the joint U.S.-Israeli war, which has now entered its third week, although they did not want to get involved. Trump has since called on nations to help police the Strait of Hormuz. This after Iran has responded to the U.S.-Israeli attacks by using drones, missiles, and mines to effectively close the channel for some of those tankers. And so it's a lot to uncover. We also see President Trump there in the room at this luncheon that he's expected to have. I want to take you out live there. Let's see if we're able to listen in.
Oh yeah, right now he's in the lunch with Ireland's leaders and ambassadors.
there's another angle as well as we're also getting ready for some of these remarks there in the room, but you can see President Trump is sitting, but also speaking now is House Speaker Mike Johnson.
It's been going for 4 decades because it began back in the Ronald Reagan era. 2 proud sons of Ireland. One was a Republican, one was a Democrat. President Ronald Reagan and Speaker Tip O'Neill originally joined forces to celebrate the enduring bond of Ireland and the United States.
Yeah, they're just doing a speech right now for that. Let's see what this is going on. Yeah, apparently he took out another fucking leader. Man, they're losing. They're losing a lot of officials, man.
זה העוזרים של הגנגסטרים, שהם מפיצים טרור ברחובות טהרן וערים אחרות של איראן נגד האוכלוסייה. גם שם אנחנו פועלים מהאוויר עם מטוסים של חיל האוויר, עם כטב"מים, וגם שם פועלים. אנחנו מערערים את המשטר הזה, בתקווה לתת לעם האיראני הזדמנות לסלק אותו. זה לא יקרה בפעם אחת, זה לא יקרה בקלות, אבל אם נתמיד בזה, אנחנו ניתן להם הזדמנות שהם יוכלו לקחת את גורלם בידיהם. במקביל אנחנו עוזרים לידידינו האמריקנים במפרץ. אני שוחחתי ארוכות עם הנשיא טראמפ אתמול בנושא הזה. יש שיתוף פעולה בין חילות האוויר וחילות הים שלנו, ביני לבין הנשיא טראמפ ואנשיו. אנחנו נעזור גם בהתקפות עקיפות שמייצרות לחץ אדיר על המשטר האיראני, וגם בפעולות ישירות. יש עוד הרבה הפתעות. בתחבולות נעשה מלחמה, אנחנו לא נחשוף את כל התחבולות כאן, אבל אמרתי לכם, רבות המה. עכשיו ביחס לדבר נוסף. הדבר החשוב ביותר לנצח במלחמה, זה מה שנקרא בלעז tenacity, ובעברית נחישות. נחישות, נחישות, נחישות. נחישות של המנהיגים, נחישות של המפקדים, נחישות של העם. אנחנו נחושים לנצח, ואנחנו נשיג את הדברים האלה. אני מבקש מכם פשוט להתעלם מערוצי הדכדוך. אנחנו בהישגים היסטוריים. אנחנו בעזרת השם הגענו למצב שאחרי ה7 באוקטובר שהיינו בעברי פי פחת, אנחנו עכשיו מעצמה אדירה, כמעט עולמית, עם הידידה שהיא המעצמה העולמית, נלחמים שכם אל שכם. זה כבר הישג אדיר מול כל האיומים שיבואו עלינו. לאיזה מדינה עוד יש את היכולות הללו? כולן מותקפות כאן. למי יש את העוצמות האלה שלנו? של הבריתות, של צה"ל, של חיל האוויר ושל עם חזק. אז יישארו חזקים. ואני רוצה להגיד לכם, אנחנו גם נעזור לכם. כל מה שקשור בפיצויים, הנחיתי להציג לכם את המתווה וגם להגדיל את המתווה, גם לעזור לצפון וגם לעזור לכל מי שצריך, כפי שעשינו כבר בעבר, בעם כלבי, כפי שעשינו קודם לכן בקורונה, נעשה את זה ביתר שאת הפעם.
There you go. Another security chief down. How many fucking officials have they gone through by now? Let's check out what's going on here. Basically, Afroman's in trial because he made some songs that made the police officers very upset. Apparently, very, very upset. So now they're trying to sue him.
Okay, so you testified during your audit. You had 3 that indicated less, with the most being indicated missing $5 as a miscount, correct?
That is correct.
You then found 4 that had more money than listed, with a highest being $2.40, correct?
Correct.
So $10 is more than you found in the 10% audit, correct?
Yes.
Who did you send a copy of your report to?
I can't recall if I sent any copies. I may have. I just don't recall.
You sent a copy to Mr. Foreman, though?
I don't recall sending a copy to Mr. Foreman.
Okay.
Ugh.
Did you look at the return on the search warrant?
I did not.
But as far as you know, it would have an incorrect amount of money on it due to the miscount?
The search warrant return should have $4,390 as one count and $641 as the other count.
Which adds up to over $5,000.
Oh, sorry.
If I may have a second, Count. Your Honor, no further questions for this witness at this time.
Redirect.
Detective Robinson, we're going to pull up this report one more time, and let me ask you just a couple questions about it to clarify what happened here. What exhibit is this, Natalie? 31?
Yes.
Looking at exhibit 31 again, the last page of your report, Detective. I wonder, we could do that. Mine is marked up.
Your Honor, mine is not. We could use mine.
Thank you for the accommodation.
Your Honor, mine, just for the record, mine does have one thing at the top that says Plaintiff's Exhibit 31, so I know what it is when I refer to it.
We're just going to use that, this one page.
Thank you. Flip this page back.
Yep.
He's resetting it. I hope that doesn't mess us up here.
Technology's great when it works.
Oh, they're gonna show. What are they gonna show?
Your Honor, if I may ask, this might be a perfect time for me to ask for a restroom break because we're not able to do anything at this time.
How long do you think this one, Sam, will go?
I have 2 minutes, 3 minutes.
Make it?
I can try, Your Honor.
Fair enough.
I'm sorry. Is there gonna be more fight? Is there gonna be more fights with the Gypsy Crusader? I don't understand why fucking streamers are all like, ah, I can take him. I can take him. Dude, that dude is bigger than you. The fact that he versed someone who the fact that he versed someone who was like a little bit shorter, and it looked like the guy wasn't even fucking training that much. And he still lost.
Thank you. Okay, Detective Robinson, we have this Exhibit 31 back up on the screen. And the page we're looking at has a second to the last paragraph there from the bottom. And you wrote, as I'm reading it, as to evidence item number 2 and the alleged missing $10 from the counted and recorded $641, I cannot determine from the body cam footage the amount possibly collected. Did I read that correctly?
You did.
And was that true?
That's true.
That's an accurate representation of your conclusion?
Yes.
While we're on this page, and since Mr. Osborne asked you a question about Channel 19 footage, I want to ask you about the short paragraph right above the one we just looked at, where you wrote, I would like to note that a news article published by WXIX reporter Ken Baker on August 30th, 2022, a week after the execution
I'd much rather
of the search warrant, the homeowner reported that investigators removed $4,000 from his home. Why was that important for you to include in your report?
I felt that if someone, this money was collected, I believe, if I recall correctly, from some clothing, an article of clothing, maybe in a pocket or something of that sort, that it would be strange to have $4,390 tucked away like that. It would make more sense if you had $4,000 maybe tucked away. And when I saw this article, I found it of some interest, so I put that in my report.
Ms. Daly.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Just a couple questions, Your Honor. So, Detective Robinson, you found the news article of interest? Is that correct?
Yes.
More interest in interviewing anybody who was there, Brian Newland, Mr. Foreman, or anything?
I didn't find it necessary to interview them.
Okay. So this news article, though, would have occurred before Mr. Foreman got back his money, correct?
All I recall and what I documented is that it was a week after the search warrant execution.
Do you even know when he got back his money?
Not off the top of my head.
So you don't know if he got it back a week or 10 months later? Is that correct?
Well, he didn't get it back a week later.
So
but
when he made that statement,
I
he did not have his money, correct?
I'm sorry.
When he made that statement to the news, he did not have his money back, correct?
I don't know that for sure.
Mr.
But I don't
Robinson,
believe he did.
How about let him finish? It's easy to step on each other. Go ahead, Mr. Osborne.
Mr. Robinson, let's cut the crap on this. You said he didn't have back his money a week after the raid, right?
I don't know when he got the money back. I don't recall the date. I'm assuming that it was a week after the search warrant execution that he did not have his money returned.
So when he made that statement, you would assume he did not know or have his money back from the police department at that time.
Are you saying he didn't know the amount of money? Or
I'm asking you, based on what you just testified to, did he have back his money a week after the raid?
No, I don't believe he did.
Okay. Did you call Ken Baker?
No, I did not.
No further questions, Your Honor.
No redirect, Judge.
Go ahead and step down. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you.
Next. The plaintiffs called Joseph Foreman as if on cross-examination.
Oh, he's going on the stand himself. Oh, shit. Let's go.
Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? As this, you shall answer unto God.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Honestly, I think this
For the
is
record,
a
will you
short
give us your
trial.
name, please?
My name is Joseph Edgar Foreman.
You are known under the stage name as Afroman, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And you create music videos and do performances, is
Yes,
that
sir.
right? How many states of the United States have you performed in, do you think?
All of them.
All 50?
Yes, sir.
And how many countries have you performed in?
I don't remember, but not all of them, but I've been to a few.
How many live performances did you do last year, roughly?
I don't know, possibly 250. I don't know, but I don't know. It's a lot of days, but I don't know exactly.
And you have a residence here in Adams County, correct?
Yes, sir.
You've been performing for 20 or 30 years, is that right?
All my life.
All right. And is it fair to say that one of the first big hits you had was "But Then I Got High"?
Yeah.
Because I got high?
Because I got high.
And
because I got high.
do you
Because
think
I
it's
got
accurate
high.
to say that that song has had over 300
I was gonna
million
clean my room,
views on YouTube?
but then I got high.
Sounds right.
You have a large presence on social media, obviously, correct?
Depends on your definition of large. There's bigger people than me, but I'm all right.
And on Instagram, is it fair to say that you have 247,000 followers?
Yeah, I just got some of them the other day.
You got new ones coming all the time?
Yes. Not all the time, just here lately.
Because the trial's coming up?
Yeah, all the publicity from the officers lawsuing me is running up my numbers.
Yeah, basically.
And on YouTube, you have almost 1 million followers, 983,000, is that right?
I haven't looked. It was 977 last time I looked.
And on TikTok, you have about 392,000 followers?
I haven't looked at it, but that sounds kind of right.
Oh, what the fuck is that? It's like a fucking car
You know
alarm.
when you post something that a lot of people are going to see it, don't you?
Yes.
When this search happened back in August of 2022, Mr. Foreman, you weren't at home?
No.
You were driving home from Chicago?
Yes.
And you got an alert from a family member that the sheriffs were there searching your home, is that right?
Yes.
And you were able to turn on your phone and watch through your home security system what the deputies were doing for a period of time, weren't you?
Yes.
And is it fair to say you were angry and upset about this search?
I wasn't happy.
And is that why you posted the things we've seen this week, because you weren't happy?
No, I posted it because the sheriff's never supposed to raid my house in the first place. The whole raid was a mistake. All of this is their fault. If they hadn't wrongly raided my house, there would be no lawsuit. I would not know their names. They wouldn't be on my body. They wouldn't be on my home surveillance system. And there would be no songs, nothing. My money would still be intact, nothing. So all of this is their fault.
And because they executed a search warrant on your home, that gave you the right to post the things that we've seen this week on the internet?
Because
Is that right? Is that right, Mr. Foreman?
Yes, for
Yes.
tearing down my door, not paying for it, not being apologetic, me being a sport, doing something peaceful to raise the money to pay for their damages, me having the right of the freedom of speech as an American to talk to my family, friends, and fans about what the sheriffs did to my home, yes, I had the right to my freedom of speech. After they left, I had the right to kick the can and to do what I had to do to repair the damage they brought to my house. Yes, I did.
That includes the right to post the videos that you've just been posting up until Friday and beyond, right?
Yes, I have freedom of speech. I'm a rapper. I entertain. I write fiction, comedy. Yes, I mean, I entertain for a living like you practice law for a living. So I have to go to work.
Yeah, just hit him with it.
The
Hit him with it.
left a warrant return at your house. didn't
They got up in their fifis and
I think they left
and made a
something with,
lawsuit
my
against.
I'm not sure.
Well, you saw, as soon as the search was over, as soon as you got home, you saw a document that showed exactly how much cash had been taken from the house, correct?
I know I got paid $5,000 for the show that suit was in. I forgot that money was in that suit. But, I heard, I don't know what piece of paper I heard. I knew they took some money. I just knew they took some money. I knew it was 4,000-ish. I knew they took some money and they seized some money and some weed and some, I don't know, what else, just minor stuff.
You knew how much money was in that pocket when you came home and saw the warrant return, didn't you?
It was $5,000 from back when I did that show. I remember it was $5,000. But anyway.
So is it your testimony that they actually took $5,000 instead of $4,390?
No, I just know. I know when I did that show, it was with Snoop Dogg and Wiz Khalifa at Red Rocks in Denver. The balance of that show for me, they sent in a deposit, but the balance was $5,000. I put the $5,000 in my coat pocket. I got drunk, I got high, and I forgot to get that money, and I hung that suit back up. And that's where they got that money from.
So it was $5,000 they got?
Yes. It was $5,000 that was in my suit when I got paid in Red Rocks. Now, after all of this stuff, whatever, it's I don't really know the complete number. It's 46, it's 430, the number bounces up and down. But all I know is I got paid $5,000 at the Red Rocks with Snoop Dogg and Wiz Khalifa when I played the Red Rocks in Denver.
And you got $4,000 returned, right?
I don't know the exact amount.
Well, you were there with the news when you got it.
Right, and the lady at the sheriff's station admitted that the sheriff's was short. You can go watch the 19 News.
You knew when you saw the warrant returned, didn't you, that the amount that they were saying was taken was actually more money than was in that suit pocket?
I didn't warrant.
That's why you brought the news to the sheriff's office when you got the money back, because you knew that they had miscounted the money and the number on the evidence bag was actually more money.
I didn't know nothing. The lady at the sheriff department just volunteered the information. I was sitting there, if she had been, I might not even known I got ripped off. She admitted it live on Channel 19 News that the money wasn't right.
You remember in your deposition when I asked you, why did you bring the news when you picked up the money?
Yeah, I didn't want to get beat up or Epstein at the sheriff's station running around my house with AR-15. So that's why I brought the news and my attorney. So to make sure I got.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's what cops do sometimes. They fucking take advantage of that shit and try to steal
You didn't
it.
bring the news because you already knew there was a miscount.
At least from his case.
I didn't know. I figured they stole my money. They turned my cameras off. So if you turn my cameras off, you must got something bad in mind. So yeah, I'm accusing them of it. They turned my cameras off. I can't see what they're doing.
So your testimony under oath here today to these 10 jurors is that you brought the news when you picked up your money to protect you physically from being beat up or shot by the sheriffs, right?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah. Yes.
And they volunteered the information that the money wasn't right. That's just an extra something we found out. But I came with my attorney and the news to make sure the people running around my house with guns didn't take me into jail and do something.
Oops.
You had a safe in your home, correct?
2 of them.
2 safes. Did the sheriffs look into those safes, to your knowledge?
Yes, they
The
did.
deputies?
Yes.
And how did they get the combination?
I gave it to my ex-wife so the sheriffs wouldn't pull my safe out the floor, take it to the station and put something in it and try to say that whatever they put in my safe was mine. So I went ahead and gave my ex-wife, who I didn't want to give my combination to, it was just safer. I went ahead and gave her my combination so they could open up the safe and realize that they just vandalized somebody that don't even have nothing in the safe.
And do you know what was in those safes?
It was absolutely nothing in the safes.
Don't you keep jewelry in those safes?
No.
Didn't you tell me that in your deposition, that you keep jewelry in those safes?
I do.
Was anything missing from the safes when you got home after the search?
I didn't put nothing in the safes.
Was anything missing from the safes when you got home?
Nothing was in them, so nothing was missing from the safe.
You talked to Randy Walters on the phone before you got home that evening during the search, or right afterwards, didn't you?
Yes, sir.
He told you that they were taking some money and some vape pens and a small amount of marijuana. He told you that?
Yes, sir.
You knew, didn't you, Mr. Foreman, that there had been an investigation by the Claremont County Sheriff's Office into the discrepancy about the cash that was missing from your home, correct? You knew there was an investigation.
Yeah, I knew the sheriffs was investigating themselves.
Yeah.
Oh, that's how you saw it.
Yeah,
Yes.
third party, yeah,
And did you
yeah,
ever
investigating
ask for a
themselves.
report
Oh,
so you could see how
we
bad
investigated ourselves and found no wrongdoing.
Yeah, I was trying to get involved any way I can.
Cops
The
got to
investigation
stick
was
together,
going on
right?
without
Especially the
any of
corrupt
my
ones.
participation.
Did you ask for a copy of the report?
I did. I asked for everything. I was trying to be involved. I didn't.
So you've seen the report?
No, I have not.
Okay.
I just saw it a few minutes ago.
Well, you had an attorney when you got the cash.
Well, the attorney looked
correct?
over it, but he didn't.
At the station?
Yes.
I had attorney. Yeah, my attorney was present.
Did
when
your
I got my
attorney ask
cash.
for a copy of this report?
It wasn't in it. When I got my cash back from the station, it wasn't an investigation until we realized money was missing.
Well, did you contact your attorney and say, hey, get me a copy of that report?
Your Honor, I'm going to object. While Mr. Klingler wants to talk about his client's attorney-client privilege and maybe waive it, Mr. Foreman does have attorney-client privilege with his attorney at that time. And we are going to assert that privilege because it's a privilege he has of right.
And so far, he hasn't asked anything privileged. So I appreciate the sensitivity, overrule the objection, and we'll pay attention to it. Thank you. Go ahead.
Thank you, Judge. Your testimony is you never saw a copy of Detective Robinson's report until today.
Yes, sir.
And that's because you didn't want to see a copy of the
I
investigation.
did want to see. You don't know what I want. I did want to see it.
You did.
I wanted everything that had something to do with my money coming.
And that
out.
was 3.5 years ago, correct? And you haven't seen a copy of that report that you wanted to see until this afternoon. Is that right?
That's right. I never had my money taken by cops. I didn't know how this go. I don't know about reports. All I know is live on Fox 19 News, the lady admits that her department is short $400 of my money. That's all I know. I don't know how to investigate police officers taking money.
That's all you know, and that's all you know today, isn't it? That's the whole basis of your claim that your money was stolen, is that the amount of money that was in the bags is different from the amount of money that was written on the bag.
Yeah, my whole thing is they never should have raided me in the first place.
That's your whole thing.
That's my whole thing.
That's the point,
That's my whole
isn't
thing.
it?
If they never would have showed up, there would be no songs about them. I wouldn't know who they are. Their faces would not be on my video cameras. None of this, we wouldn't be in this room right now if they hadn't raided my house and didn't press no charges, didn't even know what they was doing. This whole thing is their fault, and they're suing me for their mistake.
And so you don't really care if they stole your money or not. You're just mad
I
about
do
what
care
they
about
did.
if they stole one.
But
Police officers shouldn't be stealing the civilians' money. So I do care. All of it is an outrage. This whole thing is an outrage.
You have no evidence that they took your money except for the amount on the bag isn't the same as the amount.
How about the
got
lady
with
admitting that she took?
Could you answer my
She admitted that she took my money on live Fox 19 News. Go argue with the film clip.
Nobody-
Go argue with her admitting that she took my money.
Nobody admitted that they took your money.
Well, whatever. Go look at her admitting that the bag is short
Mr.
because it
Foreman.
stayed open all weekend long or 2 weeks after Brian and Officer Cooley just left it and just mishandled it and didn't do right.
Just so we're honest with the jury here, Mr. Foreman, nobody admitted that they took your money, did they?
They admitted it was short.
Yes.
No, that's
Nobody
still
looked like they took
that's
your
in a
money.
sense taking his money.
Correct.
It was short. She admitted. She said that it was short. And usually it's 10, 5, $2 missing. How does $400 even come up missing? Odd.
You posted videos about Brian Newland doing hard drugs and snitching on his friend, and you posted those based on rumors, didn't you? We can look at your deposition, but before you argue with me, but isn't that a fact that you made those allegations based on rumors you said you heard?
It's a fact. William Newland is a convicted pedophile, and Brian Newland is his brother. After I zeroed in on Brian, I asked about him. Come to find out, he's a large statutory rapist that has sex with all kind of underage girls. He buys them beers and gets them drunk and all kind. That's probably the reason he had to leave the Adams County Sheriff Department, because he beats up his wife and he messed with underage girls, and he had to get out of town and go get a job in Norwood.
All right. You don't want to answer my question.
I do. Please ask another one.
Please.
Let me ask this one again so I can get an answer. Do you remember in your deposition when I asked you, you have no reason to think these rumors about Brian Newland are true, do you? And you said, well, it's more entertaining if it's true, and I can make some money. Do you remember that?
No, I don't. That's a however long that deposition was. You can read the deposition and it tells you what I said.
Do we have a copy, another copy of that? Because I'll show it to you, and I can show you my copy. Refresh your recollection.
You're going to refresh his recollection.
It's
Trees. You then use the
Thank you, Judge. If I can get it working here.
Your Honor, I object to using the screen to refresh his recollection. That's publishing it to the jury. If he wants to refresh his recollection, he can show him it and then ask him a question, much how we would do in criminal law with a police report.
So
If an officer didn't remember, we wouldn't show the report. We would show it to the officer. He would refresh his memory by reading it, and then we'd re-ask the question.
Do it that way, just make sure you think he reads it right. I'm just trying to get through the verbiage. Just make sure you think he reads it right, otherwise I have to wrestle with you about whether he read it right.
Sure.
So just read it. And then if we want to move it as an exhibit, you can do that.
Remember your deposition being taken, Mr. Foreman, in your attorney's office on September 3rd, 2000.
To be initiated.
I remember the deposition.
And that deposition was taken in DJ Osborne's office?
Yes, sir.
That's the same office that you used to film that video that we saw last night with the actor playing Lieutenant Lisa Phillips, and that actor was sitting in the same chair that Lisa Phillips sat in during her deposition, wasn't she?
Yeah, the actor played Lisa because I wouldn't have known her if she hadn't came to my house and cut off my camera.
Yeah, right.
Right.
That's the office we're talking about, and that's the office where I took your deposition, right?
Yes, sir.
And in that deposition, I'm referring to page 84 of the deposition, I had asked you about...
Object, he's testifying. No, he's using his deposition to refresh his memory. He's doing it right, so sit down, please.
Did I ask you this question, and did you give me these answers, Mr. Foreman? Question: would it be fair to say these are rumors? Answer: you know, Stephanie said it, and you know, some other people that don't remember, you know, I'd be in a hurry in Walmart or something, they shake my hand, yeah, Brian used to do this, used to do that. Then something, I didn't know him, but this is what I've heard. Question: you don't have any particular reason to think that it's true or not true, right? Answer: well, it's more entertaining if it is true, and I could probably make some money and capitalize on it if it's true.
What are the line numbers?
Starting with line 7 and ending with line 21. Did I ask you those questions and you give me those answers?
I don't remember. That was a long time ago. But
but that's my question.
I've always put Brian Newland next to his brother, so that's my basis. And I've always
we noticed that.
Yeah,
and your attorney's going to be able to ask you whatever questions he wants. Right now, I'd like you to focus on my questions, Mr. Foreman. You have no evidence that Brian Newland ever molested little boys, do you?
If you look at the picture, he's holding the little boy's butt. It's too much for me. So you just use your eyeballs, and then your brother's a convicted pedophile.
That's your evidence for posting that pedophile stuff.
Hey, you know, I'm just trying to figure out. I'm trying to figure out what kind of guy is kicking on my door. What kind of guy is walking around my house reading my bank statements? It's a dude that's possibly a pedophile, got a convicted pedophile brother, deputized by the sheriff, walking around possibly stealing my money. I'm just trying to figure out what's going on as I zoom in with my cameras. That's not the type of guy I don't think should be on the police force.
I'm going to refer you again to your deposition. If you don't trust my reading of it, I'm happy to give it to you, Mr. Foreman. But on page 98 of your deposition, on that same day, beginning at 9/11, did I ask you this question and did you give me this answer? And again, the only evidence, you don't have any evidence that Brian Newland is a pedophile or plays with little boys. Answer: no, sir. Did I ask you that question? Did you give me that answer?
I don't remember.
What are the line numbers?
Beginning with line 11, ending with line 14 on page 98. You have no evidence that Lisa Phillips stole your money, do you?
I know if she hadn't raided my house, we wouldn't be having this conversation. Nor a lawsuit or nothing. They never should have been at my house.
Since you're not going to answer my question, I'm going to go back to your deposition again, Mr. Foreman, page 102.
Your Honor, if I may, can I just enter a continuing objection so I don't have to object every time he does the deposition?
No, it's too important, so please be specific. Thank you.
So I would enter a notation of objection at this point. He is now testifying for the witness. He is no longer refreshing his recollection.
I'll be sensitive to that, so you can rephrase, and I'll sustain that. You made the conclusion you didn't have memory, so we've got to go back and fix that.
All right, Judge, I will. Thank you. Do you remember telling me in your deposition, Mr. Foreman, that you don't have any evidence that Lisa Phillips stole your money?
Yeah, she cut off the cameras, but I didn't know who took them. I didn't know who took them. So, all the officers was a suspect at first, because I didn't know where. After the deposition, I realized that Brian Newland was in charge of the money, and I knew where to focus everything. But at first, all the cops was a suspect, especially after they cut off my cameras, and I couldn't see what they were doing.
All right, well, so you don't remember? Is that what you're telling me?
I remember telling you that Lisa, probably didn't take my money.
Okay.
But I just didn't know. I just knew it was missing, and they cut off my cameras, so all of them were suspects until I figured it out.
So until you figured it out?
Until everybody figured it out, until it was solved of where the missing money was.
All right. So just
oh
to clear this
shit!
up and move
William
on,
Newland
you
does
admit
have
that
a
you don't have
record.
any
Holy
evidence that Lisa Phillips
shit!
stole your money.
No.
He does have a criminal record. He was charged February 2021 with giving CSAM to a minor. Oh Jesus!
But I know if she wasn't there in the first place,
Ohio
we wouldn't have
County.
this conversation or be here.
And is it true that one
It
of
occurred
your big
between
motivation,
December
really,
11th and
in
19th
making
of
all these
2020
posts is to make money?
To pay for the damage that they brought to my house under the circumstance that they shouldn't have even been there.
Additionally, a criminal record from Spokio indicates
So the
a
answer to
William
my question
Newland
is
was
yes, your motivation
adjudicated
was to
guilty
make
in a
for
juvenile
the
court in
damages that they
Florida on
brought to my
December
house under
15,
the
1998
circumstances that they should
for
have been there in
attempted
the
sexual
first
battery
place.
on a
Have you made
victim
enough
under
yet to
12.
make up for
Oh, man.
Not really.
So his
How much
bro-
have you made on it?
so
I
his
don't
brother
know exactly,
did some
but
crimes, and that's probably why he became a
wasn't
cop,
like
so he could fucking
$24,000.
sweep that shit under the rug.
$24,000.
It wasn't that. It wasn't that.
You're still making money on today, right, with the new posts and advertisements and things?
It's
you get?
publicity.
You're still selling merchandise, aren't you?
No, publicity. Just me. Just everybody. Thanks to them bringing publicity to this, it's just an opportunity to run numbers up and be an entertainer.
And the more lies, outrageous lies you tell about them, the more money you can make, right?
Fact, they never should have came to my house in the first place. Fact, if they hadn't have came to my house, they wouldn't have put themselves on the video camera and in my music career. All of this is their fact. All of this is their fault, and they have the audacity to sue me. These people and you are the predators and the victim at the same time.
So what they did, searching your house, gave you the right to do everything.
Just tossing it right back at their lawyers.
After they run around my house with guns and kick down my door, I got the right to kick a can in my backyard, use my freedom of speech, turn my bad times into a good time. Yes, I do. And I think I'm a sport for doing so, because I don't go to their house, kick down their doors, flip them off on their surveillance cameras, then try to play the victim and sue them.
You were at Lisa Phillips's deposition, correct?
Yes, sir.
In your lawyer's office.
Yes, sir.
Oh my God, this is
Same
so
office
good.
where you filmed part of that video last Friday.
Yes, sir.
And you saw how upset she was when she was answering your lawyer's questions about how this had affected her, right?
Yes, yes,
And you saw your attorney say, do we need to take a break?
yes,
And you saw her say, no, let's go on and get this over with.
yes, sir.
You saw all that.
Yes.
You knew she was upset.
Just like she knew I was upset when she was standing in front of my kids with an AR-15 with her hand around the trigger ready to shoot me. Just like she knew I was upset when she cut my camera. But I'm not a person, she is. So I'm sorry for being a victim.
Oh, Capitol Hills talk. Oh, fuck.
So you saw
Honestly,
all
this is
that.
more
You saw how
entertaining
upset
right
she
now.
was. You heard the testimony about her children. You heard the
Oh,
testimony
man, this is so
at
funny.
the depositions about Randy Newland's daughter who came home upset. You heard all that, but you're still posting stuff about
Yeah,
it.
because I understand it was Randy's fault and all of their fault for coming in my house in the first place. So if they hadn't came to my house, their children wouldn't be saying nothing. None of this would be going home if they did their research and did things right. So all of this is their fault. And now they want to sue me for their mistake.
Is there anything that could change your mind about what you're doing to these deputies?
What do you mean? They caused this shit themselves. What? They're the ones who did it first.
My mind about how my money should have been touched in the first place.
Oh, this is so good.
No.
No. Yeah, it's their fault. Fuck them.
That's all the questions I have. Thank you.
You're welcome.
This is so good.
I'm sorry, Mr. Osborne.
And now they're playing the victim. Oh my. I'm emotionally distressed now. My feelings are hurt. Fuck you, cops. Like, the fact that you're emotionally distressed by this situation is fucking wild. Right? I mean, police officers go through some crazy shit, and this is what gets you for emotional distress? Get the fuck out of here. Oh my god. These people are playing the victim so fucking hard. This is fucking hilarious.
If he testifies on his own direct case, it could be now, or it could be...
the judge has to come in and be like, look, with all the statements he said, please look only towards the facts of this case, right? All the other stuff is just noise, right?
Your explanation. Thanks, Mr. Foreman. You can stand up.
Plaintiffs rest subject to the admission of all our exhibits, Judge.
It's funny because he flipped them off too, purposefully. I was just like, Jesus Christ, man.
What do you have?
I had no one ready.
I mean, he has every right to be angry, right? I mean, these people brought a frivolous lawsuit against him. At least that's what I think.
Don't research. Don't think. Don't talk. Ruminate in your own mind, maybe, but it can't be any farther than that. The admonition we talked about previously about deliberating as a group and thinking collectively is still in play.
Oh, are they gonna...
You can't look at anything online.
Oh, are they gonna... Oh, man, this has been short. It's only been 2 days. Are they... I guess they're gonna go back and do deliberations now.